Well, hey there, Grace Church. Happy Tuesday morning. I hope your week is off to a good start and getting ready for the summertime to roll in here. I guess the official starts this coming weekend with Memorial Day weekend. I don't know if you're like me, but I am super ready to be able to kind of get out of the whole school year paradigm and rhythm and maybe get a little bit of a different take and different look and perhaps even get a little bit of time to travel if the Lord allows. So I hope you have the same things in front of you, and I'm praying for you and praying that you get some rest during these days ahead. Hey, I'm sending out this video to you this morning to follow up on the town hall this past Sunday night, and I want to share with you some of our takeaways and some of the ways the elders are discussing and thinking through some of the things we heard from you this Sunday night, some of the questions we got after the meeting, and even some ways that we can encourage you to continue to give us questions so that we can have information that can make sure we're hearing and working through and representing you well, and all those kinds of things. So I want to just share a couple high-level things with you, some encouragements here in the next couple of minutes, if it's okay. First, I want to say thank you. Thank you for the questions. Thank you, the ones that were offered. I mean, look. As we've already said, there's so much information and there's so many different layers, so many dimensions to this conversation about merger, and we know it's going to take some time. And we know sometimes time will allow gaps for people to start filling in their own information about certain questions they may have, and then they'll make kind of decisions about those questions without waiting for them to come out. So I'm going to ask for your patience as we kind of filter through some of your questions and be able to answer them in a way that's both timely, but also hopefully they can help settle any type of issues that may be creeping into your own heart and mind about this potential merger. We know, again, this will take some time. So again, thank you so much for that. We need your questions. We want to encourage you to do them. At the end of this video, I'm going to share with you a way to be able to continue to give us those questions so that we have material to work through and know that we're doing good work on your behalf. Okay, again, we want to serve you well. Your elders love you and they love you dearly, and we're thankful to be in this with you. But as a point of encouragement, what I want to do also, though, as I'm thinking about those questions and the things that we're all kind of wrestling with and everything, I just want to give you a couple of things that just have been on my heart over the last couple of days. I think I want to remind us that the saints at Miracle Baptist Church, they have a long and storied history. And there's so much to celebrate about that history that God has done through them. There are many opportunities, many people who were raised up to follow Jesus and have a passion for the gospel. We have people in our own church that can testify to that, and we should be thankful for that. Sometimes, as one of our dear saint sisters said to me, they don't have to use all the same fancy words we use in our community, our Reformed little tribe, but they still believe the fundamentals of it, and they still want the gospel fruit of it. And so I think that's what I have been able to discern in my times with some of their saints. And I think some of our elders, as well as some other members who've had the opportunity to meet with some of them. So I want to just help us to remember that it would be easy to look at their present situation and miss their storied history. It would be easy for us to view ourselves as somehow or another we're the heroes and we're sweeping in to fix things and we're bringing everything to the table. I dare say it would be easy for us to think that somehow or another they are more or less just being accommodated and stapled in, that somehow or another they need us and that we don't need them. And I want to just push back on that thinking, if it's there. Listen, it's been in my mind, it's been in my heart a couple of times throughout this process, and I've been thinking about this since way back in November. But I want to push back about in my own heart, and I hope perhaps push back on it in your heart if it's there. Like, we should be careful not to entertain the idea that they just need us. But in reality, the idea is, with some humility, we need each other. That's what the church is. And we need them as much as they need us. And perhaps what the Lord is leading us into in this next season is showing us some places that we need them so that we can be more fruitful for the future. It's not just about a building. It's not just about that. It's about caring for a church that has a history and helping them see and finish their days with Reformation. It'll be such a beautiful thing if the Lord leads us down it right. So I wanted to call us that maybe we need each other. Maybe Grace Church and Miracle Baptist Church need each other. And I love that, because that was shared to me with an email from a dear sister that I value her thoughts and process so much, and I'm thankful for that word that was said to me earlier this week. Miracle's recent past might be shrouded in difficulty, but it would be wrong-headed for us to think that this church is not one with a sweet spirit, with a simple desire like us to do meaningful gospel ministry in our community. There are a few people in our church who've had that opportunity to meet that and have seen that, and I cannot wait for you to be able to see the same thing. I hope that in the end, we will see that we're better together than we are not. And that leads me to my second point. This Sunday, we're going to have an opportunity to have lunch. And we have good numbers of people who are already signed up, and we have plenty of food. We decided we're going to get plenty of food to make sure anyone who wants to come can come. And we're going to have lunch at 12:30 at Miracle Baptist Church, and we're going to go to about 2:30. It's going to be a great time. And I just want to encourage you, if you are in town and have the ability, come eat lunch with us. If there's any parts of you that has doubts, like come stand in the building, come meet some of the saints, perhaps envision whether or not we can see our kids using those classrooms, whatever it may be. And maybe we can envision ministry to the community in ways that they haven't been able to realize at Miracle, or at least not for a long time. Come if you're able to. But as you come, I want to ask you to prepare for that. That's this Sunday in a couple of different ways. Number one, as we noted on our meeting last Sunday, let's restrain from making unnecessary comments about the building, perhaps some things that maybe look a little dated, or things that might be very treasured to some people in that church because it has some history to it that we don't have a history for, and we just want to be very, very, very careful about that. Number two, don't huddle up in grace like cliques. Don't be the group that just kind of hangs out by yourself. Go make sure that you're sitting at tables that have a mixture of Grace and Miracle Baptist people. Don't expect this older congregation to be the ones to step forward and try to meet you. You do what you have always done, which is be very eager to meet new members and new people, new visitors in our church. Let's do the same thing this coming Sunday. I know you will. I know you will. You've always proven that to be true, and I'm so thankful for that. And then three, and this will be kind of in relation to both those first two, keep an open mind. Keep an open mind about the building, the location, about the opportunity. It would be unfortunate to make decisions or assumptions about the future or what this merger will entail simply because it's in a lower socioeconomic location, perhaps, or because it's in an area that's not right in the middle of where, in neighborhoods where we live at, whatever that may be. It would be, let's kind of reserve and put that perhaps skepticism on the shelf. I'm not saying I'm hearing a lot of that. I'm sure some of us are wrestling with it, but I just want to call it out there in case it is out there. I would caution us with that kind of thinking because we'll have some things to address with this building. We'll have some things to address when it comes to safety and security. We'll have lots of things to address, but they're not insurmountable issues. They should not be primary issues. They shouldn't be ultimate issues. They can be penultimate things that we need to think through and important issues, but we'll get to those. We'll take care of that as time begins, okay? Now, lastly, our elders, and I mentioned this a few minutes ago, our elders want to encourage you to keep sending us questions. So our new elder, Ben Cripps, has put together a Google form that allows you to put your name and questions, multiple questions, on this guide so that we can get that information. But here's the deal. You can ask us questions anytime you want to throughout this process, but we need to collect data pretty quickly. So we're asking you for this link through May 29th, which is Wednesday, May 29th. So not this coming Wednesday, but the Wednesday after next, after Memorial Day, excuse me. We want you to give us as many questions as we can, and then the elders are going to continue to sit down, and we're going to try to create some kind of document, some kind of guide, some kind of media that will help us sift through those questions for you so that we can hopefully be able to address the questions that are still stirring in your heart. And we're going to deal maybe more clearly with some of the questions that were asked on Sunday night. So we got all that stuff we're collecting, and we're going to hopefully give you a nice, complete guide for that. So here's our next step. Okay, let me think through this, okay? Number one, we'll be collecting those questions officially from you through May 29th. Again, you can always ask those questions, but from that document, May 29th, and we're going to collate them into a document and hopefully be able to share that document with the church so that you can see at least some short answers also to some of those questions. And as we're able to answer some questions, we'll continue to update that document. Number 2, we'll be working with Ben Morrow more closely, the elders will, to hammer out some of the nitty-gritty of some things that maybe not are quite as clear as we want them to be at this point, and perhaps we weren't able to be as clear about this past Sunday night. But we're going to be working with that. The whole goal of that work is to end up with creating a merger team, okay, when this is all said and done, that has members of our church and members of their church who will then take that information, that nitty-gritty that the elders are working on, and let those people put their eyes on it, let those people ask questions, let those people represent our churches, and then we can then decide, okay, what are the things we need to still work on? What are the things we feel pretty clear on? And once all of this is buttoned up, hopefully we can bring back a recommendation. But if it doesn't, if it gets into that work and we realize, oh man, this is not going to go anywhere, okay, we can celebrate. There was a great season to think through it and evaluate, and we walk away and we trust God, the Miracle Baptist Church, to God's care, and they trust us to God's care, and it'll be it wouldn't be a waste of time, excuse me. So listen, this is going to be a tedious work. It's going to be arduous at times, and that's okay. Real work that's worth it means time and effort. But if we work carefully and with care for both churches, and keep in mind with a heart of humility, and keep the mission of Jesus in our community at the forefront of our ambitions, the result could be something simply amazing, something that testifies to the grace of God in ways that none of us are prepared to see. And that's what my hope is in this, okay? I'm not just an optimist. I want to be obedient to the Great Commission. I want our church to be obedient to the Great Commission. I want our church to be able to be robustly part of planting churches in this city, or replanting churches in this city, or revitalizing churches in this city. We need it. And I want us to be a point. And this might be one of the first steps for us. Who knows? It may not be, but it could be. So, church, I love you. Your elders love you. We are so thrilled and so honored to shepherd you. We are committed to leading you toward fruitfulness in mission and ministry for the glory of Jesus. And that's at the heart of this entire conversation. I can't wait. I truly cannot wait to see how God unfolds everything that's about to unfold. If he doesn't lead us to merge, it's going to be okay. I'm not sweating it. I don't think any of our elders are sweating it. But what if he does, and he does something fantastic out of this? What a ride it'll be. All right, guys. Well, we're going to continue to work with you. We'll continue to update you. We'll continue to address any questions you have. But check out the link below. Submit your questions and submit them soon. And we will continue to work hard for you. Love you. Have a great week. We'll see you Sunday.